I'm Lucy and today I'm in Leicester with Sana to talk about carbon monoxide and carbon monoxide poisoning. Thank you for being here with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
My name is Sana Ahmad. I work within Wesley Hall Community Centre and I'm the preschool manager.
Lovely, thank you for being here again. Can you tell us what happened on that day, please?
Yes, it was Sunday midday and the carbon monoxide alarm started beeping. We were a bit like, what's going on here? What do we do? Why is it beeping? At first I actually thought my daughters had just pressed it and they were just testing it. But then it kept getting louder and louder. Initially, when I was given the carbon monoxide alarm from Wesley Hall Community Centre, I was shown how to work it, and the instructions were within the box. So if anything was to happen and if it was beeping, what to do. So along the box they had the 0800 number. I rang Cadent immediately. They were really nice, asked us to ventilate our house and immediately told us to go upstairs. And then they said an engineer will be out within 2 hours. To be honest, within half an hour, an engineer came very quickly. He had his carbon monoxide alarm and detector, should I say, and he went over the whole house, and he actually said you have carbon monoxide everywhere. So in the whole house we actually had carbon monoxide, and if I didn't have the alarm I wouldn't actually know that we had carbon monoxide. So we had it in the whole house. We didn't need to exit our house or anything because we had ventilated it quite nicely.
Yeah, so you'd followed the instructions that the guy on the phone told you, and that made it safe in that moment. But had you shut all the windows and then him gone away and you not done that, it could have been vastly different, couldn't it? Yeah,
because it was cold. I'm not going to lie. It was cold. I think it was down in October, so it was quite cold. But we just wore lots of jumpers and did what we were told to.
Yeah, which is really good. What symptoms did you feel, if any, from the carbon monoxide?
Prior to actually getting the carbon monoxide alarm and actually having carbon monoxide in the household, we did used to feel quite nauseous and quite lightheaded, but how you normally think, maybe overworked, a bit tired, and my girls are quite delicate, so we just thought they were just having an off day, to be honest. So knowing that it was actually carbon monoxide effects that we were experiencing.
Yeah, it's difficult to put the two together, isn't it, until you actually know what's going on?
Yeah.
Did you have the carbon monoxide alarm for long before it started going off?
To be honest, I only had it for about 2-3 weeks. Yeah, so I'm very thankful to Wesley Hall Community Centre, to be honest, to giving us the alarm and giving it out into the community and raising awareness about it, because I had known about carbon monoxide but didn't actually think it could be kind of like a deadly killer. So yeah, we are ever so grateful to Wesley Hall Community Centre to giving us that alarm.
Were there any long-term effects on your health after being exposed to carbon monoxide?
No, not really. I think probably just that week that it had happened, we were feeling just slightly lightheaded and a little bit nauseous, but nothing major, thankfully.
Yeah, I think maybe if you'd have been exposed to it for longer, it could have caused more damage, but thankfully it didn't. Do you know what caused the CO leak in your home?
Yes, we have this beautiful antique heater which kept us very warm in the winter, and we, to be honest, when we moved into this house we didn't want to get rid of it. We knew it was old. Didn't really think it'd be a hazard, to be honest, but when the engineers had come, they actually had said, like, just looking at it, we're like, that's the cause. We know that's the cause. The damage was quite bad.
Yeah, it's scary that it can transfer to so many rooms from that one item, isn't it?
Yeah, because it was the chimney wall. So the chimney wall was obviously going into my daughter's room as well. And that's where he said that there was a lot of carbon monoxide in that room, upstairs more than downstairs. So the heater was a gas heater, very old fashioned, and kept us very warm. We're quite sad it's gone, to be honest. But yeah, immediately they cut off the gas supply, and we had no gas for that day.
Were they able to fix it pretty quickly, and once you removed that item, it was then fine?
Yes, absolutely, very quickly. They did cut off the gas supply. To be honest, they did give us some electrical heaters so that we could keep ourselves warm, and if we wanted to, they wanted to cook, they gave us a slow cooker as well, which was really, really nice of them. And they cut off the gas supply, so we had no hot water or anything for 24 hours.
Yeah, so actually they were really nice when they came, but it was quite a big thing for your family to go through. It completely changed your way of life for that day, just from this one little heater and the gas that was coming out of it that you couldn't even see.
Yeah, no, it did. It did change us quite a bit. We were quite shocked. And to be honest, it was the carbon monoxide, because it was in the whole household. The engineers that had come had actually said that you are so lucky to be alive. And for me to think back, when I reflected, I was a bit like, wow, I could have lost my life, and so could have my children and my husband. And so it was a massive kind of reflection to think, goodness, like, thankfully we're alive today. And if I hadn't had the carbon monoxide alarm, I don't know if I would be even here today talking to you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're glad you are, but it does show the importance of having the CO alarm and the knowledge of what can happen if you don't listen to it, because it could be easy to just think, oh, that's faulty. Yeah. Like you thought maybe it was your daughter playing with it, and just turn it off and chuck it away. It was really good that you actually listened to it and called. What steps have you taken since then to ensure your home is safe from CO?
So obviously we've had to get rid of the heater and the gas supply that was going to the heater is cut off as well. So we know we're all safe, and yeah, that's it really. We still have our alarm and we check it now and again to see that the battery is okay, it's not running out or anything, and yeah, it's never beeped since.
Do you mind me asking, how do all the staff here get CO alarms, or was that just a one-off?
No, when it was given, we had raised awareness about CO within the staff so that we can then raise awareness and knowledge into the community. When we were giving out the alarms, we were all given it, to be honest, and thankfully we were.
So we did some public research on CO awareness, and I'd love to run you through some of the findings. If you wouldn't mind guessing some of the answers, and then I'll tell you what the actual answer is. If you had to guess what percentage of the UK population don't know the symptoms of CO poisoning, what would your guess be?
Say maybe over 50%?
Close. It's 40%, which is actually quite scary that people can be going through these symptoms and feeling these things and then not actually knowing what the cause is. What percentage don't know that chest pain is a symptom of CO poisoning, do you think?
Again, over 50, that'd be quite a lot. I didn't actually know that myself, to be honest, so.
No, I think it's probably if you've had it sustained over a long period of time. I wouldn't have known that either. The answer is 69% of people. So that's a really high number. What percentage of our surveyors don't have or are unsure if they have a CO alarm installed in their home?
48?
It's 27%, which actually isn't too bad, but considering how much of a risk it is, that's really high to not even know if you've got one in the house. Yeah. Do any of the facts surprise you?
They do actually, especially the first two. That's quite alarming, because obviously, I mean, chest pain, I didn't ever think that it would be a symptom of carbon monoxide poisoning, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the scariness of the CO effects or symptoms is that it could be so many other things. So then you're just going about your business, you're thinking, oh, like you said, I'm tired, I'm stressed, or my children are just tired or overexcited, and then it's actually CO. And if you didn't have alarm, you wouldn't know.
No, I know.
If you could tell people one thing that might save a life, what would it be?
Definitely get a carbon monoxide alarm in your house and find out if you have one or not, but definitely get one. I'd say approach your local community centres and find out where you can get one.
Yeah, I think that's really good. That's a really good tip. What message would you share with homeowners and renters about the importance of CO alarms, regular appliance checks and ventilation?
It's definitely very important to ventilate your house. I generally do ventilate my house before that anyway. I think that's probably one of the reasons why we were able to survive it for a little bit longer. All year round I do ventilate my house, and the windows are open all year round, to be honest. And I think, again, that was one of the reasons why we did probably survive this for a longer period. But ventilate your house is so important.
I knew to stop condensation in the windows, you should ventilate your house, but I didn't know it had other benefits to it.
Yeah, so obviously because I work in the early years and I have that kind of knowledge, I tend to ventilate our house, so all year round my windows would be open first thing in the morning. They are wide open. Come winter, summer, autumn, any weather, they are open, bang on wide open for the first 2 hours of the morning, and we'll have our heating on at the same time. But it's really, really important to ventilate your house. It just gets rid of all of the bad toxins in the air that it could be. And I think, again, that was one of the reasons why we probably did survive this carbon monoxide, but also get an alarm as well. It is crucial that you have an alarm. It's a life changer. Like I said, when the engineers had come down and they said to us that we are lucky to be breathing today, and they said, we actually don't know how you're breathing today. When that happened, me and my husband just looked at each other like, wow, this is an engineer qualified saying to you, we don't know how you're breathing today. It was a shock to being told that, but then still being alive and breathing, and ever so thankful that we're here still today.
Yeah, it's very hard hitting, isn't it?
It was, it was quite a shock. You don't know how to take that. You're just a bit like, wow, really, like, could that had happened to us? If the carbon monoxide poisoning had been so madly affected by it, we could have actually lost our lives.
Do you think more people need to be aware of the dangers of CO poisoning, and how can campaigns like Safer Homes help?
Definitely more awareness needs to be raised about carbon monoxide. Again, ventilating your households, being told to get an alarm. Safer Homes could definitely do more advertising, leafleting, have community events. It's always a hit when you go into different local community centres to have an event and raise awareness about it. We had a health event, and that's where we were giving the carbon monoxide, and we had raised so much awareness about having the carbon monoxide alarms, and so many different people, even just the local kind of shops, had approached us to come and get an alarm for their shops. They have on where we are in Leicester. They actually had come and said, can we have an alarm, kind of thing, because we were raising awareness about carbon monoxide and they didn't really know much.
You kind of think of it as just homes, but also it can be anywhere that carbon monoxide can be.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that the cadet engineer helped you with?
Yes, actually, when the engineer had come on the first day, he checked the gas meter as well, and we actually had a gas leak which we wasn't aware of. So immediately he obviously cut off the gas supply and actually gave us a new gas meter as well, and he talked us through about the importance of getting, your boiler appliances checked annually, and how important it was. I actually had no idea that you actually had to get your boiler serviced or your gas meter or anything like that looked at and checked, and just to see if they're fine. But he actually raised so much knowledge and awareness about it that me and my husband actually didn't know. So he changed that for us immediately, free of charge. That didn't cost me anything. He gave us 2 electrical heaters and he allowed us to keep them, and he said that's for you to keep, which was really nice of him. He also gave us a kind of hot plate to cook on if we needed to, because we had no gas, and that was all for us to keep. Funnily enough, it was lunchtime and my daughter kept going on about, are we going to have lunch? Are we going to have lunch? And he was very, very kind and gave us a £90 Uber voucher as well, which was ever so kind, and it did really help us for the 2 days. The following day we did have another 2 engineers came that did a thorough check on the heater and on all of our appliances, so our cooker, our boiler, our electrical, where the gas meter is and the electrical meter is, checked all of them. They were there for a good couple of hours, just ensuring that our house is completely safe. Immediately cut off the supply to the gas, cut off any wiring that was the pipes that were heading towards the heater, completely cut them off, and said obviously we can't ever use that again. The 2 gentlemen that came the following day really raised awareness to us and talked to us about the safety of getting our boiler checked and things serviced going forward. So 3 engineers in total that came across the 2 days were absolutely amazing. I rate them 10 out of 10. They weren't not looking down at us and saying, you don't get your appliances checked. They were like, well, now, you know what to do. They were really understanding, and they were really able to explain what to do and what not to do, and the importance of getting it checked. So they were lovely.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. It's really hard hitting, talking to somebody that has actually been through it and actually, thankfully, has come out the other side. So that was the story of Sana and her family and their experience with carbon monoxide. Thank you for watching along and listening. This campaign is so important for all of us. If you want to find out more information about carbon monoxide or our Safer Homes campaign, please follow us on social media or go to the Home and Leisure page on our website.